Hi everyone. So for today's episode on the Make It Make Sense podcast, in the last segment of our three-part special for marine conservation, today's topic will be on illegal wildlife trafficking. So we are honored to hear from Miss Demi Lee, my personal friend and a youth activist advocating against the shark fin industry. So Miss Lee has worked extensively with other organizations such as Young Cephalopods and National Board of Parks to spread awareness about shark finning. And this showcases her passion to bring about change for sharks and the marine ecosystem. So shark finning is just one of the many examples of illegal wildlife trade and is one of the longest running illegal operations, especially when demand increased in about 1997. So usually, as you all will know, we would hold our recording with our guests in-house, but due to health reasons and the wonders of technology, we have her today on Zoom. So hi Demi, so happy to have you with us on Make It Make Sense.
Hi, I'm happy to be here too. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Okay, so like just to set the context for our viewers and listeners, so could you just briefly introduce to us why sharks are so important to the marine ecosystem?
Yes, I can. So we all know that sharks are the main predators, like apex predators, and they are basically at the top of the food chain, right? Thus, they are actually essential in maintaining the species below them in the food chain, and they are also a very good indicator of ocean health. They also help to remove the weak and the sick creatures, and also keep the balance between competitors to ensure species diversity. So through these spatial controls and abundance, sharks actually indirectly maintain the seagrass and coral reef habitat. The loss of sharks has led to the declining of coral reefs, seagrass beds, and loss of commercial fisheries.
Ooh, wow, super cool. Okay. So like this industry has been like running for super long already. Yeah. So like why do you think it has been here for so long?
So it is very common in the Chinese culture, which is very familiar to like the both of us. So shark fins are known to be a delicacy, especially like in shark fin soup, especially in the Chinese culture, like I said. So the shark fin soup was created as a sign of the emperor's wealth, power, and generosity. So in a sense, uh, it basically just means that you're rich. So since I offer you shark fin soup, I'm rich, right? So with the high monetary and cultural value, it's extremely attractive to fishermen, right, to participate in shark finning. So yeah, with this like with the constant demand and obviously the potential of earning big bucks, these fishermen would like just run to shark finning, I feel. Which is why I feel like it's been around for many years.
Oh, wow. That's quite hard to like remove yeah. Okay, so
Mm.
another reason why we brought you on the show today is because actually you published a very recent letter and about this particular industry. Yeah, and then in your letter you actually mentioned that to tackle this industry there has been some enforcement because this industry is really like famous. Yeah, shark finning has garnered a lot of attention, especially in the media. So like but there actually have been some law enforcement rules, like the ones you mentioned, the ones with very long names, the International Plan of Action for Conservation and Management of Sharks. Yes. So, but like, what do you think is actually lacking in terms of enforcement?
Okay, so the first plan we will touch on is the International Plan of Action for the Conservation and Management of Sharks. So this plan is actually aimed at ensuring the conservation and management of sharks and their long-term sustainable use, with particular emphasis on improving species-specific catch and landings data collection, and also the monitoring and management of shark fisheries. So I will feel this plan is lacking in terms of participation because for the participation of this plan is entirely voluntary. So that means that countries can basically decide whether they are willing to take part in it. Hence, like in my opinion, this plan does not seem as effective as it could be if it was made compulsory. So countries that are already like benefiting greatly financially from the sale of shark fins, right, they can just simply like choose not to participate. They're not incentivized to participate in any way. So obviously, like, why would I participate in something that stops
Hmm.
my source of income, right? Okay, so the second plan that I would like to touch on, right, is the U.S. Shark Conservation Act in 2010. So it's basically a law that states that it's illegal to remove any of the fins or tails of a shark at sea, to be in possession of shark fins which are not attached to the body, or to receive from or transfer the fins to any other vessel at sea. So while it does sound like a good law on the surface, would be hard to maintain the constant supervision to ensure that the law is being abided by all the fishermen. So it's practically or realistically, right, it's not feasible at all. And it does not necessarily prevent shark finning because the law could be taken as like, oh, I just can't throw the sharks back to the sea without its fins or tail. So I could, to combat that, right, I could just keep the whole shark on the boat and
Mm,
I can still get the fins and abide the law at the same time. So in a way, it doesn't prevent shark finning, it just prevents the shark from being thrown back into the ocean.
mm,
So, and also, I feel like it's anything as the saying goes, right, it's not illegal until you get caught. So obviously we can uh we can put the law in, but if nothing is done to stop them, people won't be, how to say, motivated to stop. So yeah, that's why I feel like that's what they're lacking in.
oh wow, I didn't know that about the law. Wow, that's very interesting. Wow. Okay. So like, we just received a question from a fan. Yeah. So according to this fan, sometimes the shop owners may not actually be completely aware of what they're selling and they don't know that actually it's illegal. So like what do you think can be done for these particular stakeholders? Because these stakeholders are the ones that are actually giving the demand to the industry, like they are the ones that are asking the fishers and they are providing the demand for it. Yeah. So the fan is asking, what do you think can be done for like these shop owners? Like, do you think maybe like more strict enforcement can be done for like these people?
I do feel like more strict enforcement is like a good idea, but on the other hand, right, like the reason why they are participating in selling shark fin is because of is their source of income, right? So if we were to like take that away, then naturally people will be angry. So maybe another solution would be to kind of offer them a better way of getting income rather than selling shark fins, which is just a suggestion because if you think about it realistically, it's also very hard to do so, but it is a possibility. But I think that along with the more strict enforcement, right, it could go hand in hand and it could be a very good solution together.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Because like it's been around for so long. So of course the money has to go like somewhere, right? So yeah, that's true. Okay, so like in your letter, right, actually it was also mentioned that the mindsets about shark finning could change, like particularly for younger generation, like the more impressionable generation now. Yeah, so how do you think this can be done like effectively? Mm.
I think for like we mentioned the younger generation, right, the very obvious solution is education, right? Teaching them that actually shark fins do not add any nutritional value in the soup. It doesn't contribute any flavor at all, and also like as much as in the past, it is a symbol of like wealth, right? But in this day and age, I feel like we have a very different perception of like wealth now, and I don't think the younger generation actually look to shark fin soup as a form of wealth, which is a good thing because it's easier to like change the mindset. But I feel I don't see much of a problem with the younger generation because I think there's a lot of documentaries out there already. And but I feel the problem lies in trying to change the mindset of the older generation because they are tied so strongly to their sense of culture, right? Which is very hard to change, and we can't blame them. Like we can't just force them to like not follow their culture anymore. So it is something that we kind of have to wait for it to like die off, I guess. Yeah, but it sounds very weird. I'm just waiting for that mindset to like kind of fade away. But
Mm.
I feel like once the younger generation like is in bigger proportion, then I feel like it would be easier to kind of set forward all the efforts and all.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Maybe if like got more people convincing the older generation that actually no, this is not that great, like peer pressure, then maybe they'll actually start thinking, wow, so many people are telling me that shark fin is like not good. So maybe I should listen to them. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think like with better understanding, it will be a greater driving force to like kind of stop this whole shark feeling thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well said. Yeah. Okay. So for our last question, I just want to ask like it's been very clear that this industry has been here for very long. So like what do you think um how do you think what should our effort be in order to end shark finning like for good?
I think it's definitely something on the individual level, right? The more obvious one is just to not consume shark fins, right? And to like kind of convince the people around you to kind of stop consuming shark fins. And then overall, in long term, that should decrease the demand. But on the bigger scale, it will be very hard to quantify like to what extent, but because it is on a global scale, so it's very hard to quantify something that includes like the whole world, right? But I feel like as long as each of us put in the effort to like kind of stop this, right? It's a step forward, it's still like a very good progress. So I think that's what we should focus on, like the little steps first before we kind of focus on like oh my god, what can we do to like change the world? We really like focus on ourselves first, which is a very good thing. Everything starts from ourselves.
Yeah, that's very true. Okay. Change starts with us. Yeah. Okay. So that's all the time we have today. Thanks so much, Demi, for today. It was so inspiring and interesting. I learned so
Mhm.
much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me again. It was so fun to be here.
So that's it, guys. Tune in for next week's episode of Make It Make Sense, where we make things make sense. Bye bye.
Bye.